This is the Sales Bible Podcast, episode 462, Why Master Selling is Not a Numbers Game.
Welcome to Sales Babble, the podcast that shares selling secrets for non-sellers. And now your host, Pat Helmers.
Hello, Sales Babblers. This is Pat Helmers, and have you heard the idea that the more no's you get, the more yeses you will hear? This notion is based on the idea that sales is a numbers game. It teaches that the path to success is getting comfortable with constant rejection and hitting on everybody and anybody you meet, hoping you'll bump into a qualified lead. So, it begs the question, when it comes to sales, is the best strategy for lead generation a numbers game? Maybe sometimes? But before we answer those questions, make sure and subscribe to the podcast on whatever app that you're listening to, and also follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and myself on LinkedIn. You can find links in the show notes. And now today's chapter, Weed Out Poor Leads. Like the farmer cultivating their crop, the master seller weeds out poor leads. They refuse to play the numbers game that more leads mean more sales. They delight with qualified leads, providing each with patience and respect, knowing qualified prospects bear fruit. Honing their knowledge, they waste little time on poor prospects, knowing it's not how many people they meet, but the quality of those they serve. And now today's chapter. Chris turned to Pat and asked, when it comes to lead generation, what's more important, quantity or quality? Neither's better than the other, responded Pat. Different methods work better for different businesses. What about our business? Queried Chris. Well, said Pat, when it comes to marketing, especially in B2C, business to customer, marketers cast a wide net to increase brand awareness. They focus on conversions, and there's a real need for this. But for B2B sellers, people like us, it's all about the curated quality lead. How so? Asked Chris. Pat paused and then responded, if you focus on a few qualified prospects, activities, and connections, you're less distracted. And this is good because distraction can jeopardize deals. Choosing quality over quantity means we have fewer prospects to take care of. The prospects we have get more attention and buyers notice. When it comes to the relationship business, I prefer less friction and always favor quality over quantity. When you get a lead, do some vetting to see that they're worth the effort. Qualifying the prospect beforehand or asking a few questions can make a big difference in your day. It's the easy path. Lucius Annaeus Seneca, the Stoic philosopher of ancient Rome, wrote, quote, it is quality rather than quantity that matters, end quote. Now, there's nothing wrong with quantity if you're a marketer, but for sellers like us, the key to success is building relationships with prospects who value your products and services. Dialing or spamming a list that you bought may not be the best use of your time. If prospects don't see the value, why waste time trying to change their minds? Silly, right? For master sellers, it's a process of cultivation and curation. And at the same time, it's a road less traveled for your competition. So, differentiate yourself with the compassionate ear. These are the behaviors buyers appreciate. Plus, it's easier. To download a copy of this week's Tao of Sales Babble chapter, you can find it in the show notes at www.salesbabble.com. And while you're there, you can sign up for our brief weekly newsletter with links to the podcast conveniently placed in your inbox. I won't spam you. I promise. Next, if you could do me a favor and share this episode with a friend who's also interested in growing their selling skills, please do. If you could share the episode on whatever app you're using, that would be great because word of mouth is the premier way of growing listeners. Next, did you know that podcasting is the easiest way of turning your executives into thought leaders with content that reaches your ideal clients? You've probably heard that podcasting is the new blogging. Learn more about Habanero Media, my podcasting agency for B2B brands. Let me help you start a podcast that will accelerate your sales today. Go to habaneromedia.net. That's Habanero, starts with an H, and reach out. Let's talk about what you can do to stand out from the competition. If you've got any questions about sales or podcasting, don't hesitate to reach out. Find me on LinkedIn or click the Babble Me link on the website. With that said, that's all I've got for this week. Until next Tuesday morning, take care and have a highly successful and a profitable selling day.
Thank you for listening to the Sales Babble podcast. Find us at www.salesbabble.com.
This is a production of Habanero Media.